So I first start with a circle, and I make it a little bit light because I want to make sure that I get the shape exactly how I want it. And then I make it darker so you guys can see. Can you see it now? I think you guys can see it. So there is the circle for his head, and then he's got a little neck, and he's got a body that's shaped like a banana that's swollen a grapefruit. All right. And he's got a little wing, just a little V. His wing is so small he can't even use it to fly. Duck and goose don't fly. And then he's got two legs, a long rectangular, skinny rectangular leg like this. And then a triangular foot. Okay? See, it's just the same shapes that I had in felt, right? It's really easy, and it's very easy to draw not only duck. It's very easy to draw a goose because goose is essentially the same shapes, except for his beak is a little bit different. But if you look at the picture, you can tell it's just a triangle, and his coloring is different. But you know, one of the great things about being an author and an illustrator is that you can make your duck any color you want, or you can make your duck not a duck. You can write and draw pictures of anything you want. So I just happen to draw a duck yellow, but you can draw it in any color. And that's and when you write a story, you can write a story about absolutely anything that pops into your head. So here is the outline. He just needs an eye. Oh, he needs another foot back here. And then he needs an eye and some grass. Put a little grass in it so he's not floating around. And an eyeball. And an eyebrow. Okay? So now while I'm painting him with my paint, I can answer some questions. You want to? Okay, good.
Mr. Joyner, can you follow on the listening listener? Sean, what is your question? Do you have a question? Zoe, why don't you ask your question?
Oh, here.
Who's going to ask the question? Who did you choose?
Andy. Now I'll be listening to the question.
I don't know this Can you hand that to Andy? She's right there.
Why do you like duck and goose so much?
Why do I like duck and goose so much, or why do I write about them so much?
Why did you like them so much?
Why do I like them? Well, you know, when you're writing a story, when I'm writing a story about duck and goose and rockets for that matter, I spend so much time thinking about what they're going to do and listening in my head. I listen to what they say, and I think, would they like to do that? Would they like to do this? And so I spend a lot of time with them, and so it's sort of like spending a lot of time with a friend. And so they are like my friends are almost like my kids. So yeah, I really like them. I think they are like my friends.
All right, Miss Rose, can you choose a student that's been doing a great job over here?
I guess 4. I wrote 2 Duck and Goose books, and then I wrote 2 Rocket books, or at least those are the ones that have been made into stories. And I'm working on a chapter book about 2 ducks who live in a house with a family, and the father in the family writes books about the 2 ducks. They have a dog, 2 kids. And, but the thing about it is the ducks are really tired of the guy writing the stories and getting all the credit for all the things that they do. And so well, I'm not going to tell you what happened. But hilarity ensues.
All right, let's hear from the first grader. Ms. Puccio. Ask a question right here.
When did you start writing books?
When I started making books maybe 14 years ago, when my daughter was very young, and the first books that I made were they were pictures, paintings of the animals, and part of like maybe a dog, a picture of a dog, and his ear would be very fluffy, or fuzzy, so that little babies could pat them. Those are the first kind of books that I did. So I've been doing it for a long time.
All right, another question from a kindergartner. Ms. Grisham, could you choose a kindergartner?
Sanders.
Sanders, stand up.
How did you write so many books?
How did I? Yeah. Is that the question? Okay. How did I write so many books? Well, it's a hard question to answer because it's really hard for me to write books, but I sit down and I just write them. And I think that's the only way that you can actually write a story, is by actually writing a story, thinking about a story in your head and making a story in pictures. But, you could definitely write a story in, 45 minutes. All right, that's great. You're working on a new story.
You have time for more?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
My question is, how do you write so neatly without messing up?
How do I write or how do I paint? Right? Well, when I write and when I paint, I always make mistakes. So when I paint, I've painted this duck so many times I can paint this duck with my eyes closed probably. And but I'm not going to do it. But when I write stories, sometimes I use a computer and I type, or sometimes I write with a pencil or a pen. And I always make mistakes. Sometimes I can't even read what I've written, or sometimes what I've written just doesn't make any sense. But you just sort of figure it out as you go.